Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 12th of March. Month's slipping past really quickly. We're a third of the way through, over a third of the way through now, and what we've got set up today then, or what's lined up today. If you're trading the Canadian dollar, it's employment data coming out today, and that is it. There's no other sort of risk data coming from anything there. What we could carry on getting is ECB speakers speaking individually. I can't see any listed, but there may be some listed. However, the ECB meeting yesterday came to the point where there's no risk in inflation overheating in Europe. It was the main theme there. I think that's probably looking on an average basis, because that's the benefit that they have in terms of averaging the numbers. I think we could see inflation running a bit high in some countries, but they've also agreed that it's probably not the right sort of figure to be hanging on at the moment, and employment and wage inflation probably will get more focus. So nothing to report there really. Looking then at the technicals, and we're just discussing in our trade room the pros and cons here in terms of where I say pros and cons, the where we are with this euro, for example, because bigger picture here, really it's still suggesting potential further downside, and we're seeing a little bit of that at the moment after a strong old push up yesterday. It looks really positive. Of course, I should mention we got Joe Biden finally signed off the money for the US there, so they've got this fiscal stimulus, which some people could be getting their checks this weekend, as early as this weekend, according to what I was reading last night. So we'll see what happens from that. But anyway, that's all signed off. So will that give the dollar a bit more kick? It should give the equity markets a bit more kick, although that's priced in, but we'll see how we run on that in a moment. But for now, euro dollar, well, it's, as I say, it's a question here in terms of further upside or downside. It's a dip on the short term time frame. It's still a part of it. It's just a retracement on the bigger time frames, and it's just whether this retracement can turn into something. At the moment, it's got on the 4-hourly picture, we've got the higher low that came through and pushed in. Yesterday was one of those days. It just was really quite slow for a long time, with the data coming, waiting for data, waiting for the reaction, and it didn't really do too much in the speech itself. It was quite thin. It eventually pushed up a little bit, but the actual range of how much it pushed up was relatively modest. It's retraced that now. So is this the dip? Is this a retracement with a continuation possible, or are we going to see a rollover today? And well, it is a case of just seeing what happens post 8 o'clock. But at the moment, looks a bit on the iffy side for the upside, but it might turn around. And again, it's then, if it does start bouncing, are we selling on a retrace? So not the easiest one. Bigger picture still says downside. The pound is being pushed up here. Then being asked questions about the pound, and the pound shoving its way up. It's back to its sort of mean regression level from this historical time where it made a low way back. But it's sitting there in that, and it's been sitting around that for absolutely ages. Okay, it'll do that by default almost by the indicator. But looking at the 4-hourly, it's just certainly looking soft down here at the moment. We might see more of a retracement back into its moving averages. It looks at the moment. It looks almost easier. It's got a lower high that's being kicked through there on the hourlies, and yeah, pretty much looks like it's got more downside there for potential. Now it's sitting right onto its daily S1 at the moment. That might just post 8 o'clock may just turn around and provide the support of this bigger move. We'll see, but at the moment these are erring on the softer side, these markets. The yen has been pushing up here again today. Even yesterday, it didn't really get the sort of gains that we saw in the other markets. It's soft, and as explained before, this or the potential for the yen and the Swissy, so dollar yen, dollar Swissy, for both of them to continue to the upsides with that stronger, slightly stronger dollar, but more importantly, the loading of the long positions that were sitting previously on the yen and the Swissy. So more potential upside for the dollar yen here, and it's pushing there at the moment. It's probably about the cleanest of all. of the pairs there. Aussie dollar, but again, trying to get into one of those trades is it may be easier on the cross pairs. We'll look at the moment. Aussie dollar, again, is sort of, it's done its lower high we saw on the dailies. It's pitched up. It was almost pitching back for that previous sort of lower high point, which might have seen a change. And it again, I'm just sort of, as I'm looking at it now, yes, we've got this sort of high low and the sort of upward trend sitting here. It's whether or not this can hold off. If it starts breaking through, actually, I mean, we see it sitting at some key areas on a lot of these markets. If you see a continuation of where they are, well, the choices are really to the downside there with those lower high on the hourlies there. Does currently look quite soft. Canadian dollar got its way a bit yesterday, selling off a little bit more. US dollar, Canadian dollar, US sold, of course, yesterday through the markets. And we're currently seeing a bit of a bounce at the moment, but again, is this just a retracement? Are we going to see a continuation to the downside, or is this going to turn round? I think with the Canadian dollar, it's got a bit more strength in it in the bigger picture, and you look at the sort of this is US dollar, Canadian dollar, of course, strength for the Canadian dollar is to the downside. It really looks like, well, potentially it's got more downside. Okay, side of that, looking at some of the cross pairs, euro yen at the moment gaining from this weakness really of the yen and the middling strength of the euro. The euro, it's quite strong against some of its pairings this morning. Seeing, he says, then he looks at the euro pound and the complete opposite of what's going on, but against some of its contemporaries it looks stronger. It's just turning round. It's only this morning. It's not on the bigger scale of things, but if you come down the time frames, it's pushed up against them. But short termism there. Okay, S&Ps then. Let's just go from bigger picture here. So yesterday the cash market actually made new high. Did question this. At the moment it's looking a bit like a bit of profit taking maybe coming through, but I would look maybe a slightly deeper retrace may give opportunities if it doesn't bite from here. But we're seeing this, as I said, with the euro, a lot of these markets, it's a real question of whether they'll push and go. Yep. So real sticker at the moment. Okay, does look like it's got the potential. Just need to watch this, and it may be sped off when the cash market opens. Right, gold spitting off again. Yesterday it sold towards there. To me, it just looks like the gold prices here have got potential slip back a little bit at this stage. Again, it's into support on the lower time frames, although the hourly's really given up a little bit more. So really, gold for me looks like it's got further downside. Oil had a good old time of things yesterday, pushing back up, looking in a bit of a strong old picture. Still sitting here waiting to see if it breaks these lows, but for now it remains bullish pretty much. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to wish you a great day, and I will be back. I'll be back on Monday for the YouTubers out there. Have a great weekend, and for the roomies, let's carry on. Bye for now. Right, that